Hello and welcome to Supreme Commander Forged Alliance. This is the ranked 1v1 ladder. We got Anaryl here going first land. We're going EF, still not splitting his pigeons. And he's across from Rainman, who's going with Cybern. Cybern's pretty tough, although on this map they could be pretty good with their speed. A lot of open areas. And a couple of pigeons, all the mask extractors with the ACU. So one cool thing about this map, there are these two piles of something, who knows what that is, but it's very valuable. It's got a lot of mass, so you want to rush to those, and if you can try to deny an engineer, send some flares to those spots. You might see both players sending engineers to that area. Looks like the ACU is going to go to the hydro. We can see here on this map multiple hydros, 4 hydros. One is pretty close to the base, but you still can't really put it in terms of your first initial build. Might be some expansion factory or something like that, and of course some hydros here up on top. You can see these are pretty big mountains, and then there's this passage between them, some lakes, some water, although you probably don't want to make any navy on this map. So we see engineers coming out from Rainman. We got one hunter coming out, actually 2 hunters. One going to the top, one to the bottom, and perhaps this hunter right here, well, it's going to the hydro. This one's going to the mask extractor. So these are the typical expansion paths, so that's where he's going. And here comes a mech marine from Anaryl. Might look for this engineer, but Rainman's ACU is there as well. See some defensive scouts from Rainman looking for any threats to that engineer, but nothing through the top. And here comes his first kill of the game, perhaps an engineer versus the hunter from Rainman. And there it goes. More engineers on the way. Well, tank is expanding there as well. The bottom hunter for Rainman got killed by the ACU, so not as lucky. Looks like it was second air from Anaryl. This is a nice build. This is like Voodoo. This is what Voodoo used to do on the GNet ladder. On palms, always go really quick second air, and you get these bombers. You get much better eco than first air. It looks like it's all bombers. This is great from Anaryl. This will be an interesting build, although it might be a little problem for Rainman's going with a lot of air factories here. So pretty soon Anaryl is going to have to stop making bombers. Start seeing interceptors. Although 2 of these air factories, that's a lot of power. No bombers, still no bombs dropped off for Anaryl. Killed an engineer, got another bomber coming in. And these interceptors are going to put an end to this fun, unfortunately. Unless you bomb, you can bomb directly these factories and kill those interceptors before they're even built. That could have been a pretty good option with those 2 bombers for Anaryl, but it looks like he's just going to the other side of the map. And yeah, he did just bomb one of them, but it was a little too late. Also an engineer coming up here for Rainman, as well as the ACU, so NG and ACU action up in the bottom mountain. And then we got Rainman here. Perhaps we'll see an ACU and ACU fight. Absolutely nothing going on up on the other mountain. This bomber's still causing problems, but not as effective as it could have been. More land factories for Anaryl. And it looks like he is getting quite a bit of mass here with some protection. Doesn't look like Rainman really knows about this or is using it. Maybe perhaps he's going to do it later. And a sneaky tank here from Anaryl, actually with already 3 kills. Gets yet another 4-kill tank here. And he's got to run away. The Mantis will put an end to this. Still a good tank there from Anaryl. More tanks coming in, perhaps to help the ACU. He's trying to get an air factory and get that hydro up on the mountain. And there's an engineer from Rainman that's right next to him. It's a forested place, and that's going to be a dead engineer. Pretty big air force now from Rainman moving in toward Anaryl's initial position. More bombers, and these are going to be killed. See a total of 3 land factories and quite a bit of air. It looks like both players are going to go very heavily in air in this one. terms of map control, it's still really hard to call. Here at minute 6, still a lot of free mask extractors. Perhaps it is a little slow. So one thing Anaryl did, he spent a lot of time trying to bomb things, kind of neglected doing anything with his engineers, and RainMan was defending. Looks like Anaryl's going to get a pretty big base here up on top mountain. We might see a fight over this other one. Be very curious to see what RainMan does with his ACU. Doesn't look like he knows that there's a whole bunch of mass right next to his base, and he is moving in on Anaryl's position, so Anaryl should get some point defenses here. One thing that you can do, and that's exactly what's happening, see gestures. Yeah, RainMan is going to go with the T1 gunships to try to end this game early. It might be a good strat. It's kind of an all-in, because if you get countered, for example, if there's a lot of flak for Anaryl, or he has a decent enough air force to survive, you're kind of screwed after that, because the other player will know exactly how to counter. Although if you put a lot of micro into those Tech 1 gestures, you go all over the map and kill a lot of units. But at this point, definitely a better air force for RainMan. Anaryl sitting next to his new Hydro, making interceptors up on top. You do see now expanding engineers from Anaryl. That's going to really make his eco better. This engineer very valuable. There is going to be a pretty large force, so if RainMan pushes now, this will be a big loss. Anaryl should really reinforce the top mountain. And these are going to be dead planes soon. No reason to throw them away like that. Also, quite a few units here for RainMan. He probably will start a fight here with Anaryl, although good defense here with point defense. It'll take a very strong Cyber player to break through a UEF base like that. A Tech 1. And these gestures are getting some first kills. Perhaps Anaryl will now know that there's gestures and make a lot of flak, and is making more point defense. And we might see this push from these Cyber units from RainMan. Definitely not enough defense here, just 3 tanks and a scout. Perhaps he's going to the middle. There's also a pretty large force from Anaryl moving in that direction here, coming up in minute 10. But it's very not clear. This is a lack of recon, I guess, although RainMan had plenty of airplanes to see exactly what's happening. Instead of attacking the weak target, he's going to the middle, but maybe it is a defensive move here. He's going to try to prevent any kind of push into his main base while he's attacking. That's exactly what he's doing. Unfortunately, instead of it's aggression, he's being defensive. It's not really working. We see some units being pulled back from RainMan's attacking force. The 2 ACUs now shooting at each other. This is a very safe place for Anaryl with those point defenses right behind him, and an anti-air turret now being built by Anaryl. Here come the gestures, and this is the sneaky tanks from Anaryl. Good work. Anaryl got to get that point defense done, that anti-air, because the gestures are coming in. He's still got quite a bit of health, but he has absolutely no way of shooting back, and that's a mistake. He needs to finish that. These engines needs to finish that, but that is not happening. Hopefully he doesn't just panic and run away. He can easily win this game if he just runs back. He just needs to retreat and rebuild that anti-air defense. Oh, that's unfortunate. He's got to come back, although a couple of those gestures did get killed. Although it looks like Anaryl is going to retreat and survive. He did have a chance there to really make it bad for RainMan. If he could get rid of those gestures early, this AC would have had a lot more health, and he could have kept on pushing against the Cyber army. And big trouble here for RainMan. The EEF is just running him over, and this is the problem with going with those gestures. Quite expensive, and if they fail, you are in quite a bit of trouble. So we'll see how RainMan deals with the situation. Still a huge loss. If just a few, all you needed was 4 Mantite to come in here, maybe with an Arty, and just clean all this up. Now Anaryl is getting a very good economy. And RainMan's got to put out fires back at his base. He does have gestures, but now air domination from Anaryl as well. See if he can produce enough here, perhaps some point defenses. But you don't want to get units too far into your bases, all your power generation. And there are some tanks actually sneaking in. And big problems for RainMan. A bit of an attack here. It's about 4 minutes too late. And superior numbers for Anaryl, so RainMan will have to retreat. And big trouble back at base for RainMan. He's gotta kill those. He does have some T2 mask extractors getting more air factories. Not clear why he's doing that. 16 kills. This is nearly a draw here between these Manti. He's already did a very good job. You can see all these dead power production units. And without power, you can see here RainMan having to rebuild his power somewhere else. He really needs to get these ground units and kill off those tanks. And RainMan throws in the towel. So it's a pretty good play there from Anaryl.